Welcome back to Dream Garage Makeover Part 2. As you've seen in Part 1, we got the floors redone. It made the place look so bad that we decided we would repaint. We're going to change the colors, but first, how about a little bit of commentary from E-Doggy himself?
Hello, this is Ezra reporting from the shop on Ezra News. So, we're not really finished with the makeover yet. The floor looks very good in the paint job, but we still have to move everything back from that room, and we moved from this room into that room, but now we have to move it back to here. Well, it's not so finished. We're going to move my toolbox into this room, because it's in my office. Actually, I don't want to. So, yes, it'll be all for Ezra Shop News.
A little bit of a progress report from E-Doggy himself on what's going on in the shop. A little background on our building. It's a Morton Buildings pole barn. We put it up around 2005. It's framed out like a residential structure with studs, and it is on a footing and foundation. So it's a pretty solid building. But one of the problems that we had after we drywalled was we couldn't get the corners to quit cracking. So we put quarter round in the corners this time to keep us from having to keep, touching that up, as the cracks would always come back. We went around, we drywall mudded all of the other cracks that occur kind of normally. We fixed all of the places that maybe we bumped into and tore the drywall, and then we are getting ready to start cutting in and do the paint job on the shop. Here you can see I've got some white on the walls. I'm going white over white. I picked up this paint from Lowe's. It was Valspar. I had gone in and I talked to the guy, and I kind of was in the middle of the range of qualities of paint that they had, from expensive to the least. And the guy talked me into going with the bottom tier Valspar, and he says, this is going to work perfect for what you're trying to do. So I started putting it on. I put on a coat, and it just didn't look like it was even covering the white. So I had my wife look at it, and she said that I needed to go back and get some different stuff. So I went back and I got some Sherwin-Williams. I was up about mid-grade as far as the price line that they had at Lowe's, and this stuff started to cover way better than the Valspar. So I ended up using Sherwin-Williams, and it seems to be doing a pretty good job. As you can see, the white has been applied, and it looks a lot better than that Valspar that I started with. So we went with Sherwin-Williams, and when we originally painted the building, it was white, red, and gray, with black stripes separating the white and the red and the gray and the red. This time we went with a semi-gloss rather than an eggshell on the white, because we wanted a little bit more of a shine. Now the black that we're putting up is actually Valspar, and it's covering pretty well. So we're pretty happy with the black. Now, the next thing is after we get the black done, then we got to move to the ceiling. This is a pretty good sized building. This area that I'm painting is 54 by 30, and it's got 12.5-foot ceilings. So I'm going to do the paint job from the floor using extendapoles. But the black is looking really good, and then the separation between the black and the white, we're going to do a vinyl sticker. So here I am rolling on some of that black Valspar semi-gloss paint that we got at Lowe's. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It covered well, it went on well, it dried nice. So we got the black done, and we are getting ready to move on to the ceilings. Little side note, I am not the guy to paint when I got to use a brush and a roller. That's my wife. She does all the painting around our place. But I got impatient. I wanted to get it done, so here we are. I'm getting ready to tackle the ceilings, which is the part that I didn't want to do. But the Sherwin-Williams white actually goes on really well, and it's looking pretty good. I'm painting it with an extendapole. I've got a few obstacles to get around, but it's actually going pretty well. So here I am, I'm touching up, I'm using some tape so that I can develop a straight line where the black meets the white, because we kind of wanted that to be straight because we're going to use that to help us apply our vinyl sticker. If I made one mistake, I would say it would be right here. See how I'm brushing that on? Well, after it all dried, the texture actually was different from where I rolled it to where I brushed it, and it kind of created a little bit of a haze right there. I wish I would have rolled that up to the tape, but it all turned out, it looked just fine. So even though I developed that little bit of cloudiness where the white and the black met, it actually really didn't make much difference after we got the vinyl sticker applied. It kind of all blended together and I was real happy. So the black and the white looks really good. I'm showing this just to show you that there are, a lot of obstacles when you're painting ceilings. Make sure you have a good extend-a-pole and make sure you're using a good roller and great paint. You don't want to do that too many times. So when it comes to the stripe that we're going to use to separate the white and the black, here is the first rendition that we came up with. We wanted it to be really 3D looking, almost trick your eye. And we went through several variations working with Don Fitzinger at Fitzinger Graphics to come up with what we felt was what we really wanted it to look like. So once we get that taken care of, and they really did work with us, we started to apply it. And again, I'm not a graphics guy or anything like that, but I'm trying to do the majority of this project on my own. So Don gave me some tips on how to put it all up, and here I am getting ready to start applying the vinyl sticker. So my goal with this vinyl sticker was to deceive the viewer. Whoever was looking at this, I wanted them to think that it was a piece of aluminum that had been milled into different thicknesses with a window cut in it, and the checkered flag pattern would be in that window. These pieces are 10 inches wide by 16 foot long, and I put these up by myself. That was a little tricky. That's why I got all the tape up on the wall. I used it to hold the sticker up while I peeled the backing off of it so that I could get it applied. It turned out really well. I couldn't have done it without the help of Don and the guys from Fitzinger Graphics. I couldn't have done it without my brother, who has some computer skills and can do some graphic stuff. He helped me get an image that I could give to the graphics people along with my explanation. And with all that teamwork, we were able to develop what you're going to see that we applied to this wall. You put it on a lot like a regular sticker that you might just stick to a car. We peel the back off, squeegee the air out of it, and one other thing that I did is I use a heat gun and a roller, and you really roll it, and it develops kind of the texture of the wall, and it also helps it to stick better. It makes sure that the adhesive really is pressed up against the wall. So you'll be able to see some of that in some of the rest of this shot. So here's what that separation stripe looks like on the wall after it's been applied. I went around the rest of the building. I used a lot of tape, but I got that whole stripe put up by myself. Here's the stripe with a little bit of the stuff moved into the building. As I mentioned, I'm not very good with a brush and a roller, but I'm pretty good with a spray gun. Hi guys, part 2 of the Dream Garage Makeover. Things have been pretty busy. We haven't got everything done that we wanted to get done. We don't have our LED lights up. We still got to do a little bit of trim painting with the black, and we're not totally for sure what we're going to do with the inside of our overhead doors. They've yellowed over time, but everything looks pretty good. We've got all our toolboxes, all our cabinets are in place. We've got some of the cars back in here. So kind of the reason we're going to escalate and we're going to get this second video done is we want to move on to some of our car projects. So we've got the Hemi truck here. It gets power steering, gets an interior put in it, some little things that we're going to do to it. So we want to make sure that we show it on the channel. We've got the El Camino. We want to put some Kraggers on the El Camino. We're going to do an old style speed shop lettering job on the side of it and put some Alden coilovers on the front, raise the thing up. And we're going to put a bowed snap down tarp on the back, which is kind of old school. We want it to look like maybe a speed shop would have owned it back in the 70s or so. So we've got a lot of projects. We still have the Mustang over there that we've got to get done. We're putting a motor in it. And some other drivetrain stuff. And then over here, in the other side of the shop, we've got the top chop on the Jimmy. And then we've got to redo the CJ5. We're going to paint it green, rebuild the 304. So we've got a lot of stuff planned that's going to happen on the channel. So we want you guys to subscribe so that you get notifications. I think that's how it works. And we want you to visit with us from time to time because some cool stuff's going to happen. So enjoy us, and we look forward to seeing you back here. Thanks.